Hey, you got barbecue and bottles here, and today we're going to be doing reverse seared ribeyes over charcoal. So first step, as you'd expect, get yourself a great cut of meat. Here we've got some Canadian AAA ribeyes, and the first step, we're just going to pat these down with a paper towel. Make sure these are really nice and dry. We're getting the moisture off of here, so all the heat energy from the grill is going into creating a really nice caramelized crust on these steaks. And now we're gonna salt them. And we actually have 3 different kinds of salts we've got in here today. This one's gonna be a balsamic vinegar sea salt. So we're just gonna try the taste difference between all of these. Next, we've got a blue cheese sea salt. And a smoked paprika sea salt. Spread that around evenly, pack it in. And we're gonna hit these with a little bit of pepper. Now we're just gonna flip the steaks over, do the same on the other side. Now that we've got these all seasoned up, we're just gonna let them sit here for about an hour. And that's really going to allow the salt to absorb into the steak, get a more even seasoning throughout the entire ribeye. And in the meantime, we're just going to be patient, and we'll be back in an hour. So now we're going to fire up the barbecue. We've got the steaks have been resting for about 45 minutes. So once the grill's up to temperature, those will be ready to throw on. So to start, we're just going to go in with lump charcoal. It's natural. So you see we've got the charcoal on one side of the grill. That's going to allow us to have both a direct cooking zone and an indirect cooking zone. And we're going to start these guys off on the indirect side, and then with the reverse sear, once we get them up to temp, we'll put them on this side and finish it off with a nice sear. So now to ignite our charcoal, we've actually got this HomeRite electro-torch, and it's just a bit of an easier and cleaner way to start your grill. And we'll show you later on a really cool feature about this that we really like for longer cooks, or you'll see in a reverse sear steak, it's perfect for this too. So to start, all you gotta do is hit the button. It takes no time at all, and you'll get your charcoal lit. So we've had this on for about 20 seconds, and you can already see it's igniting the charcoal. So we'll let that go, and then we'll hit it in another spot, and this will be fired up and ready to go. So the other great thing about these electrolighters is they're perfect if you're in the city and you don't have space in your backyard just to set up a typical chimney, or if you just want less mess. I mean, we haven't had to, crumple up a bunch of newspaper, ignite a chimney, dump that in. Just ignite it with this, and as you saw, it really doesn't take any time. It's a lot quicker than using a typical chimney. And if you're using a Kamado, where you've got all your charcoal down at the bottom and you need to reach in to ignite your charcoal, perfect for that as well. The other thing for longer cooks, and we'll show you here with the reverse sear, it's also got a feature where it just blows hot air at a very high speed in order to reignite the charcoal or bring it back up to that temp that you need for searing. So we love it for longer cooks. So now we're just gonna put the grill grate back on, get this covered up, and heat up the grill. In the meantime, let's go check on those steaks. So we've had the steaks out for an hour here, and they're ready to go on. But what we're gonna do first is just put in our temp probes right into the thickest part, right in the middle of these steaks. So they're gonna come in just like that. So now we've got 2 of these temp probed up. So what we're gonna do is just put these on indirect heat until we get an internal temp of 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we're gonna hit that charcoal with a bit of air, make sure it's ripping hot, and then we're gonna flip the steaks over to the direct side, finish off the sear, and get that perfect medium rare we're looking for. Oh, all right, perfect. We can tell this has been heated up to temp. Take this off. And now we're just gonna slip our ribeyes on here. We're gonna put them over on this side for the indirect heat. Now to add a little extra flavor to these guys, we're just going to be going in with a little bit of apple wood. So this is a mix of apple wood, apple pellets. Just going to put that straight on the charcoal like this. Boom. That's going to add some extra smokiness to this cook. So underneath the grill on this side is the direct zone. We've got the indirect zone over here with all the steaks. And you want to make sure your vent is over top of the indirect zone. So as the smoke comes up off of the charcoal, it crosses over your proteins and then out the top over here. This is just going to add another wonderful layer of flavor to charcoal grilling, and that smokiness, the apple, it's going to be fabulous. So we've got the steaks up to an internal temp of 105. So you can see that wood and the pellets that we put down has given an incredible red smokiness to these steaks, and that's going to add incredible flavor. So now we're getting ready for the sear, and we've got the charcoal just screaming, is we're just going to hit it with a little air with the HomeRite electro-torch. All right, now that we've got that ripping hot, get our grate down, get our temp probes out, move these steaks into sear position. Now we're just going to hit these over the direct heat for maybe 30 to 60 seconds on each side until we get a nice caramelized crust on each side. We don't want to go over an internal temp of about 125, which is the medium rare that we're looking for. So we've got about 20 degrees of temp here to work with, given we moved these over when the internal temp was 105. Look at that. Perfect, so this one's done. I'm gonna move this one into position here. Oh, perfect, just look at that. Got all the fat rendering down, got that sizzling away, all the marblings, creating delicious flavor on these steaks. Now we're just gonna take these steaks off the grill, let them rest for about 10 minutes, and then we're gonna cut in and see if we got that perfect medium rare. So as we've talked about fat's flavor, you know that from this channel, and even though these steaks have some incredible marbling on them, while they're resting, we're just gonna add a little bit of butter onto the top here and let that melt and absorb into the steaks. All those nooks and crannies here are just gonna get a little bit of extra richness from this butter. Now that these have been resting for 10 minutes, we're gonna cut in and see if we got that perfect medium rare we were looking for. Just gonna cut these into thick slices that are about 1/4 inch thick. Now let's check this out. Oh, just beautiful. Look at that. Perfect medium rare, and now for the taste test. So as you know, we've been doing a lot of steaks on cast iron recently, and those are wonderful because you get the butter, the garlic, the rosemary. But honestly, it's summer again. We're up at the lake doing steaks over charcoal with a little bit of apple smoke. It is hard to beat this outcome, folks. So if you like this video, give us a like below, subscribe to this channel. We hope you consider doing that, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.